Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted. It is Friday, the 3rd of July. We are moving into our 4th of July weekend. I can't believe we are already here in the middle of summer. Wow. It is 90 plus degrees here. It's very humid. Just also to let everybody know, we are open for business, so people may come in, knock on the door, and we may have to stop the live. My plans today are lives galore because I have a lot of stuff I'm working on. It'll be fun for you all to see. I'm also doing some other videos and things like that, but that'll show up on YouTube later. All right, so yesterday I showed you our new, I moved that board, our new Peacock Stencil. And I showed you, we did the board with our rainbow foil released through the stencil, and then we used mica powder to flash gild the background. And today we're going to do the elephant stencil. And I'm still working out in my head which foil I want to do it in. My brain keeps yelling matte fuchsia, but we also have our pink camo, which would be really cool on an elephant. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do the pink camo. I haven't used that for a lot of stuff, and maybe we'll use the matte fuchsia as the background of this to make the camo. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera down so you can watch what I'm doing. So here is our brand new elephant stencil. It is on our website. Just came in yesterday, made by Renee Holder of Two Chatty Chicks. And I think this her stencil branch is called Go Designs. She laughs at me because I can never remember the names of anything. And it's a sad thing. It really is like not my proudest moment to be saying that, but I'm lucky I remember my own name, so I tend not to remember other names of stuff too. So what I'm doing here is the entire board this is a polystyrene board. The entire board was primed and painted with set coat Royal Taupe, and then we applied our Artsyville foil adhesive with a 1/4-inch nap roller over the entire surface, and it has been curing since yesterday because I thought I was going to move faster than I did yesterday. So we are well and truly cured. Now when I do these lives, just so you know, I often use already used sample boards. For some reason this one isn't. It actually must have taken a moment and grabbed and painted a fresh sample board. I reuse my sample boards when I do stuff like this, so that I don't end up just doing a bunch of junky boards. So if I get a bad release or get a bad finish, I just paint over it and use it again. All right, so we've got this released here on this surface. I'm just going over it. The heat of my hand helps release it, but I just make sure I don't scrape with my rings because that's not a good thing. I can create scratch marks in it. We're going to peel this back. And we've got a nice release right there. That gave such a good release. And you can see, of course, that there's little spots left behind. That happens every time. But it's also the fact that, you know, I'm working on a very imperfect surface. I know it's imperfect because I personally painted it, so if I painted it, it's not going to be anything that's the word perfect comes close to. I like flawed things, though. All right, so, and the reason I'm doing this part of the board first is that it's sticky. So if I don't, geez, I'm getting stuff stuck. If I don't put the foil around on the sticky part first, when I put my arm down here, my arm's going to stick to the board. And really, that's uncomfortable. So I'm just filling this background in. Why? Because I made boards way bigger than the stencils are, because I really wanted to showcase the stencil. I do stuff like, you know, this is medallion placement, so I could do this on a solid wall and put the elephants up, or I can do it on a pattern wall like I'm kind of creating here as a faux background. Going to put a little bit here. Just fill that all in so that when I put my arms down, I won't stick to the board quite so badly. Get a fresh, smaller piece, and then we're going to lay it over the design, which means that while I'm working, you're going to see nothing but this pink camo, which, by the way, killer foil. Look how cool that is. Look how great that pink camo looks. All right, let's put this here. Set that to the side. All right, so I'm going to put that in. First thing I'm doing is rubbing with my fingers so it adheres to the larger openings. And then I'm going to be going back in like I did yesterday with my stylus and going in all of the openings. This cleans up this edge so I get actually a bigger and sharper release from my foils, but also it gets into these little tiny spaces here on stencils, especially something as detailed as this, and allows me to fill in the entire space, which I can't always do with just using a brush. I'll miss a whole lot on something this detailed. Tusks. Now, I know everybody's going to ask where I got the stylus from. I've had it so long, I don't know where I got it from, but I'm sure you can find similar tools. I think I bought this from, it's called Kemper Tools USA. So, if Kemper Tools is still around, I have no idea, because again, I bought this so long ago, I don't remember where I got it from. Probably from like Dick Blick or something. However, I might start bringing these in if I can find them at a reasonable price. For something like little tiny surfaces like this, the stylus is genius. Because it gets into all these. Now you can use, I've used the ends of paintbrushes, all kinds of things. Toothpicks I've tried, I find they're too sharp. This thing has little, I don't know if I can get this so it's focused, but it has little balls on the end. So that means I can go in here and push down and not cut the foil and ruin it. So many little details in it. This is going to take a while. So if you're in a hurry, come back in a while. If you need to go pour a cup of coffee, go get yourself some coffee. You know, come back if you're waiting to see. It's going to be about half an hour before all this is released, because I did one of these yesterday and now have a better idea of how long it takes to go in with all these little details. Now, if I were doing this on a project for a client, knowing how long this takes to do is important, because then I can appropriately charge for it. I can't bill correctly if I don't know how much time I have to spend doing something, because your time is as much a commodity as your product is. I'm getting little hand cramps. I did this for so long yesterday that my hand's arguing with me today. This is working very well. So many details starting to pop up. Now I may stop talking because even I get bored with my own babble. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them, because otherwise I think that what we're doing here is pretty self-explanatory. Again, this is a polystyrene board. I keep them in the studio for sample making, and we carry them here for our clients to purchase so they can make samples. And I know some people who are new to the industry would say, why do you make samples? Well, because you don't want to screw up your piece of furniture or your wall or whatever the job is. You don't go in blind. So, and also most customers want an idea of what you're going to do to their walls first, if you're showing them that, or to their piece of furniture. So you have to use sample boards both to test your ideas and to also have something to show your client. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. I wanted to make sure I didn't screw up my elephant ear here. Stiff after doing so much of this. And there's what you don't realize is I've also been over on the other side of the room working on a silver leaf piece that I'm doing on glass, and I've been spending hours etching everything out, and my hands are cramping from it. So I may have to put the stylus down from time to time and give my fingers a little rest. I'm not even holding this tightly, but it's been a heck of a week. I'm trying to create some video content specifically for YouTube, because I do so much here on Facebook. So, and if you're not familiar with it, we do have a YouTube channel, Painted Studio, and every live that we do here, unless I'm a bonehead and forgot to save it to my phone, is over on YouTube. Plus we have exclusive content over there that's strictly for YouTube. So if you enjoy watching me, make messes in the studio, there will always be even more mess to watch over on YouTube. So definitely check it out, subscribe, have fun over there. Although I will say that sometimes our YouTube audiences tend to attract a lot more spammers in the comments. Somebody's always trying to, sell sunglasses. Which kind of just cracks me up. This is a painting video. Why would you think anybody be looking here for sunglasses? Get into the trunk. Now the fun thing is, I don't remember, I know the basic shape of an elephant, don't get me wrong, but I have you know, I put this foil over the stencil, and I have almost no memory of exactly what this shape of everything is. So really, when I start feeling out the stencil, I'm kind of going blind because I just don't know, I don't remember what was there before. And you know, when I start getting to the edges, I'll start flipping back and forth to make sure I got all the little details around the edges, because that's what's going to happen when we come through this anyway. There's a lot of details on the trunk that I know I'm going to miss the first pass until I start lifting the foil. Plus there's a whole spot of the trunk down here that I didn't cut the foil long enough to even get to. Now obviously, I said this yesterday, but if you use this stencil for, say, paint, plaster and stuff, it doesn't take as long as like the way I'm using it for foil. And we will do some other finishes later this week using these new stencils with plasters and all kinds of fun stuff, or next week I should say, because tomorrow's 4th of July and we're closed, so there won't be anything later this week. It's going to be next week. But we got so much new cool stuff showing up. Here, feel around and I know when we get into like all the little tiny detail spots, I'm gonna lose a whole lot of stuff and just have to catch it when I get finished. Because that's where it's gonna show up. It may look like I'm scrubbing, but I'm actually just lightly running this tool over the foil to see where it's sticking so that I can fill in spots. All right, there's that. Let's get into the ears. So I know the ears have a great deal. And if you see me flipping this over, it's because the ball tip on one side of this versus the other is bigger. So I use the bigger tip for the larger areas that I can easily slide into, but when there's a lot of really small detail in here, so sometimes I need to use the little tiny edge to get into the really small spots. So who has big plans for this weekend? Anybody got family coming over? I know, you know, there's a lot of the big events have been canceled, and rightfully so. Better safe than sorry. But I have some friends I know are going away to the lake and stuff for the weekend, and others are sort of doing a park family barbecues so that they can distance and have enough room and stuff like that. Us, we're just blowing up the pool in the backyard, my famous Target pools, and we'll be, my stepson's coming over, and it's just gonna be the 4 of us at our house hanging out, watching movies, sitting in a blow-up pool, reading books, barbecuing, being very, very mellow. Why? Because it's going to be hot. Being anything other than mellow is just going to cause a heat stroke situation. I'll look up in a minute and see if there's any questions that I need to answer. Just remember, if I don't see your questions during the live, I always go back and write out the answer and quite frankly, I do that most of the time, even if I've answered the question during the live, because sometimes it's easier to refer back to the written answers when you're looking to remember something. You know, if you needed to, if I gave you a resource of where to find something, it's easier to find it if I've written it down than scrolling through the video to figure out exactly where I said it was, what it was, or anything like that. Now, I don't know if you all can see this, but the elephant is taking shape under here. I don't know if you can catch that, but yeah, there's not really a good way to catch that, to catch the light. Let's get up in here. Over that, no. There's a whole lot more stuff right over here. Oh, I missed stuff. Oh yeah, I missed a whole lot of the ear. There's a ton of ear like over here, and yeah, I'm blind too. Let's see if I can use my toothbrush a little bit just to get some of this shoved into the bigger openings. That will kind of give me an idea of where everything is. Did help kind of tidy up right in here a little bit. All right, let's get my... I don't know, maybe we'll release that magenta in the background or the purple tie-dye. We'll see. I love that purple tie-dye and I really want to release it, but I'm not sure it's going to give me enough contrast against the pink camo elephant to make it show well. I may cut these gorgeous. Her designs are so beautifully detailed, which is one of the biggest reasons I brought them in, is that besides that they were great size for us, the detail is just so wonderful on this. There's so many little fine lacy like details on this, which I love. Now just know that if you all weren't here watching me, I love this kind of stuff. I could sit here and do this all day. But when I'm on camera like this, honestly, it gives me the sweats because I feel like y'all are getting bored watching me just do this. Little dots and everything all over the place. Like little bubbles. Get back up to the ears, start filling the ear some more. I got distracted from the ear with the bubbles. I was chasing bubbles, just like I used to when I was a little kid. If there were bubbles floating by, I love to chase bubbles because I love the rainbows and bubbles. I kind of wish it was as easy to chase things with that kind of abandon now as it was when you were a kid. Just chase, you know, basically the adult equivalent of chasing a bubble. Oh gosh. I knew I was missing some spots over here on this side. There's spot's over here so tiny, I'm not sure we're actually going to get a release. I don't know if I could get through there with anything other than a pinhead. Alrighty, I'm going to come over on this side and do a little worky work. Oh, I just sounded like my mother there. She used to say stuff like that. It's amazing how certain things come flying out of your mouth out of nowhere. Like, ooh, that sounded familiar and not necessarily in the best way. Elephant head in there. Okay, now we can start working on this ear in earnest. Okay. Oh, you had 3 teens chasing lightning bugs last night? That's so cute. My son's 24. The last thing he chased was a bus to get to work. One of our dogs around the yard. He hasn't chased a lightning bug or much of anything else in a long time. Okay, so I got that pattern now. There we go. It's going to be a little dip into some deal here. Sometimes I catch things on the other side on the pattern that I might not easily caught on the other side, so I can go back and fix things. So what's the weather like by all of you? I know there's supposed to be a nationwide heat wave this weekend. So I know I'm going to be really happy just to be sitting in whatever I can that keeps me cool. I know a lot of you are going to be very busy trying to find ways to stay cool this weekend. There we go. I knew there was a little something there. All right, we're getting there. Lucky I get all of this done, like I managed to complete each side completely, but that never happened, so there are going to be touch-ups as we come and pull the stencil, the foil off the stencil, but this is going to have such a gorgeous payoff. Now, I could scrub harder with this tool, but you don't want to do that because that'll actually scratch the foil and mar some of the design, and it's especially true on holographic foils or glitter foils. You over scrub them and you make a lot of the cool detail disappear. tell you, I'm jealous of my friends who are living on lakes or near oceans right now, because that's really where I'd love to be this weekend, is just spending the whole weekend on the water. I am a water baby, have been all of my life. I probably learned to snorkel before I was even like a truly proficient swimmer. And I used to dive and race and do all kinds. I wasn't good, but I did it. I loved it. But I miss, I'm an East Coaster by birth, New York, and I miss having the ocean nearby. That's one of the things that even after all of these years of living in the Midwest, I have not gotten over missing the ocean. Anything else, yes. And Lake Michigan's huge. For those of you who know this area, Lake Michigan looks like the ocean. It's so big. But it isn't. It's fresh water, so it's not the same. So you can see as I find spots that I didn't necessarily find over here, I go back and kind of fill in some stuff. If I weren't doing this on a live, I'd have a movie playing in the background or a book or some music. I'd have my coffee right here. I'd be very relaxed doing this. Because I like doing this sort of work. This sort of little fiddly, fussy kind of stuff. Find so relaxing, except right now, because you all are watching me. So that means I feel like I should be doing it faster. I gotta stretch my arm out for a second. Hi Mineta, nice to see you. I just happened to look up and see Mineta's with us. Yay. Sorry, that was a very half-hearted sounding yay for what I meant to be a very enthusiastic yay. Sorry, Mineta, I'm just like, all right, I gotta keep finding the spots. So I'm focused on my stencil here. do not hesitate to ask questions. I just get tired of talking sometimes. I know it's a shocker since I seem to be able to talk my way through almost every video. But honestly, sometimes I really do just get tired of talking. Because there are things that are more interesting than I am. We're getting into some of the really little tiny stuff down here. I'm just trying to get in what I can get in. We're about done on the bottom. Just want to take a little piece of this just so that I can get that last little bit of the trunk. Those little tiny lacy details are going to show, but we'll give it a shot. There. All right, so we're going to start flipping this back. I'm going to look to see what I've missed because there's so many little details. I will be missing stuff, no doubt about it. Bunch of stuff right here. Right here. Seeing it when I lift the foil, but there we go. Okay, now the ear is going to be all about getting the stuff I didn't get. There's going to be plenty, I'm sure. I think I'm already finding it and I haven't even lifted that much. getting there. So what you won't be able to see from there is what I can see, which is all the little teeny weeny spaces that didn't necessarily get foil on them. So that's what I'm going back and doing, is making sure I've filled in all of those little spots. And trust me, there's so many of them because this is such a beautifully intricate design that I can find lots of spots that I kind of need to revisit. So all that's really left is I just got a little tiny bit right in here. So now I managed not to release the foil there. Check right here. I didn't get the detail there either. Can't miss anything because then when I pull it off, I take it off and there's no detail, it is going to be the dullest looking thing on the face of the earth. And I'm not okay with that. And I think there's a little spot right down there. The nice thing with the camo foil is because we've got so much pattern and texture going around that for me to move it around like that, to get the, oh, I almost forgot that spot. To get the spots filled in, you won't notice it in the end that I moved it around. All right, let me just check and see. I think I got most of it. Let's lift this up from the edge. I'll need my knife to do that because it's been sitting on here all night. All right, so first of all, wow, that is killer. Look how good that is. Look how fab that is. I love that. All right, now I just need to put a background color in that will hopefully make this pop. And I have been thinking about the matte fuchsia, so we're gonna try that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh well. Another day, another stencil. So this matte fuchsia will stick wherever there's exposed foil adhesive, which is what was all there underneath the stencil. And let's just just to lift that edge up a little bit because my fingers don't want to grab it. Get there. I like the way that's releasing right there. I'm not happy with that. Just because I want it more solid. There we go, that's better. So first of all, again, excellent transfer. You can actually see, I could go on here on this foil, on another surface with foil adhesive and release the elephant pattern all over again. I mean, look how cool that is. I don't know if you can catch that. It's very hard for me to show you. Let me see if I can flip this board over. There you go. Okay, my fingernails just do not want to let me grab anything today. So you can see I got like nearly flawless release of the elephant. I could go and put this on another surface, and that in itself is a very cool thing. And then look how beautiful our elephant is. Again, I think maybe I needed a little more contrast in this. I think if this had all been dark, it would have popped more, but it was a great concept, a great experiment. I love it, and it gave me a chance to show you all this elephant stencil, which I just love. So, our new elephant head stencil with new foils. Enjoy, everybody. I'll be back later today. We're gonna do more projects. Have fun. Talk to you soon. Bye.